Welcome to Brainwaves, where we explore the most fascinating and captivating aspects of science and history. In today's video, we'll be taking a journey back in time to explore some of the coolest dinosaurs that ever roamed the Earth. From heavily armored beasts to speedy predators, we'll discover what made these ancient creatures so fascinating and unique. Ankylosaurus was quite a unique dinosaur. It was heavily armored and had a thick, bony covering that protected it from predators. Even its eyelids were covered in bone. The most notable feature of the Ankylosaurus was its club-like tail, which could inflict serious damage to any predator that tried to attack it. This tail was made up of several large, bony knobs and could be swung with great force. In addition to its armor and tail, the Ankylosaurus was also a large dinosaur, growing up to 30 feet long and weighing as much as 4 elephants. Its legs were short and stocky, which helped it to support its massive body. Its head was small and low to the ground, with a beak at the front of its mouth that it used to nip at foliage. The Ankylosaurus was a herbivore, and it wasn't an especially fast or agile dinosaur. It relied on its thick armor and club-like tail to fend off predators. However, it wasn't defenseless in other ways. For example, ankylosaurs were able to tightly compact themselves into a ball, using their armor plating as a shield. They could also swing their tail in a broad arc, striking multiple attackers at once. Despite its size and armor, it was not immune to attacks from predators. The Ankylosaurus was preyed upon by other large dinosaurs such as the Tyrannosaurus rex. Like all non-avian dinosaurs, the Ankylosaurus went extinct about 65 million years ago, during the mass extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs. There are several theories as to what caused this extinction event, such as an asteroid impact, volcanic activity, or changes in sea level. The Ankylosaurids may have been particularly vulnerable due to their limited mobility, which would have made it difficult for them to adapt to changing conditions. Their size would also have made it challenging to find enough food to sustain such a large body. Ultimately, it remains a mystery as to precisely what caused the extinction of the Ankylosaurus and the other dinosaurs that once dominated the Earth. Velociraptor is one of the most well-known dinosaurs, and it's easy to see why. This fierce predator was about the size of a turkey, but don't let that fool you. Despite its small stature, Velociraptor was a formidable opponent. It had a long, low snout filled with sharp teeth and large, retractable claws on its feet. In fact, these claws could reach up to 6 inches in length, and were likely used to hold onto prey while the dinosaur delivered a fatal bite. Velociraptors also had feathers, making them the first feathered dinosaurs to be discovered. These feathers would have likely helped keep the dinosaur warm, and might have even played a role in courtship displays. Despite its fame, the Velociraptor is often inaccurately portrayed in movies and other media. While it's true that the dinosaur was fast and agile, it would not have been able to outrun a jeep as depicted in Jurassic Park. Instead, it likely relied on stealth and surprise to take down its prey. Velociraptors were cunning and powerful hunters. While they were not the biggest predators of their time, they were certainly one of the most efficient. Velociraptors were likely pack hunters, working together to bring down large prey like herbivores. They would often use their speed and agility to maneuver around their prey and make quick, deadly strikes. It's believed that they would also use their feathers and coloring to blend in with their surroundings, making them difficult to spot. Some scientists even speculate that they may have used vocalizations to communicate and coordinate their attacks. While it's hard to say for certain, one thing is clear: the Velociraptor was a master of the hunt. The Velociraptor was first discovered in Mongolia in the 1920s by paleontologist Roy Chapman Andrews. The first fossils found were actually a member of a close relative, Deinonychus, and it wasn't until later that the Velociraptor was identified as a separate genus. The name Velociraptor comes from the Latin words for swift thief, which is certainly an appropriate name for this dinosaur. Despite its fame in popular culture, much of what we know about the Velociraptor comes from a relatively small number of fossils. In fact, most Velociraptor fossils are only fragments or isolated bones. Despite this, scientists have been able to learn a great deal about this dinosaur through careful study and analysis of these limited remains. Today, the Velociraptor remains one of the most well-known and studied dinosaurs of all time. Triceratops is a large, plant-eating dinosaur that lived in the late Cretaceous period, around 68 million years ago. One of the most distinctive features of Triceratops is the three large horns on its face. The two long horns above its eyes could grow up to 3 feet long, while the shorter horn on its nose was about a foot long. Another unique feature of the Triceratops is its bony frill, a wide plate of bone that extended from the back of its skull. Scientists believe that the frill may have been used for defense, to help the Triceratops protect itself from predators like the Tyrannosaurus rex. Triceratops was also an enormous dinosaur, with a weight of up to 12 tons and a length of up to 30 feet. It had a large, sturdy body with short legs that ended in bony hooves. Its skin was thick and rough, and it was probably covered in bumpy scales. Overall, Triceratops was one of the most impressive and intimidating dinosaurs of its time, with a combination of size, strength, and distinctive physical characteristics that made it instantly recognizable. Triceratops was a herbivore, which means it only ate plants. Specifically, it was a browser, meaning it preferred to eat leaves from trees and bushes rather than low-growing plants. Scientists have studied its teeth and jaws to determine what it probably ate. Triceratops had strong, beak-like jaws that were well suited to biting and tearing vegetation. Its teeth were arranged in a series of long, ridged batteries that allowed it to grind up tough plant material. Triceratops lived in what is now North America, in a variety of different habitats. Its fossils have been found in areas ranging from dry, arid plains to more lush, forested areas. It probably spent most of its time near sources of water, such as rivers or lakes, where it could find the plants it needed to eat. Its size and strength likely made it a dominant herbivore in its habitat, with few predators that would dare to attack it. Triceratops is one of the most well-known and iconic dinosaurs, but there are still many interesting facts that are not widely known about this fascinating creature. For example, did you know that some Triceratops specimens have been found with holes in their frills? Scientists believe that these holes may have been caused by injuries sustained in battles with other Triceratops or even with predators like the Tyrannosaurus rex. Another interesting fact is that Triceratops was not the only three-horned dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period. Other related dinosaurs, such as Torosaurus, also had 3 horns and a frill. However, scientists believe that Torosaurus is actually a mature Triceratops, and that the two dinosaurs are actually the same species. Finally, it's worth noting that while Triceratops is often depicted as a solitary, lumbering dinosaur, scientists believe that it may have actually lived in herds. Fossil evidence suggests that Triceratops may have traveled in groups, possibly for protection from predators or for mating purposes. Spinosaurus was one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs to roam the Earth. It was even larger than the famous T-Rex. An adult Spinosaurus could be up to 56 feet long from head to tail and could weigh up to 23 tons. One of the most distinctive features of the Spinosaurus was the sail-like structure on its back, which could be over 5 feet tall. This sail-like structure was a combination of elongated spines and skin webbing that stretched out between each spine. The sail could have played several roles, including regulating the dinosaur's body temperature, providing a display for attracting mates or intimidating rivals, or even serving as a means of fat storage during periods of food scarcity. Spinosaurus also had a long, crocodile-like snout with countless sharp teeth that were better suited for catching slippery fish or aquatic prey than for tearing through the thick hide of other dinosaurs. Overall, the unique features of Spinosaurus set it apart from all other dinosaurs and make it one of the coolest and most fascinating creatures to have ever lived. Spinosaurus lived during the Cretaceous period, around 100 million years ago, and inhabited the swamps and rivers of northern Africa, specifically in what is now Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia. These environments were perfect for Spinosaurus, as they provided an abundance of food in the form of fish and other aquatic animals. Spinosaurus was also well suited to life in the water, with long, powerful legs that allowed it to swim through shallow water with ease. It likely spent most of its time in the water or along the riverbanks, hunting for prey and avoiding larger predators like the massive Sarcosuchus. Spinosaurus was likely a solitary animal, though it is possible that they may have hunted in groups or lived in packs. While it is difficult to say for sure, researchers have found evidence that Spinosaurus may have engaged in combat with other members of its own species or battled with other large dinosaurs like the huge Carcharodontosaurus. The first remains of Spinosaurus were discovered in Egypt during the early 1900s by German paleontologist Ernst Stromer. Unfortunately, many of Stromer's fossils were lost during World War II and only fragmentary remains of the dinosaur survived. More recently, however, new skeletons of Spinosaurus have been found in Morocco, shedding new light on this incredible creature. However, these new fossils have also caused controversy in the scientific community due to the unique features of the dinosaur, specifically its sail-like structure. Some researchers dispute the authenticity of the sail, arguing that it may have been added or exaggerated by paleontologists in order to make the dinosaur more interesting to the public. Others argue that the sail was a genuine feature of the dinosaur but may have had a different purpose than previously thought. The controversy surrounding Spinosaurus is ongoing, and scientists continue to study the existing fossils in order to learn more about this fascinating dinosaur. The Stegosaurus was a large dinosaur that lived during the late Jurassic period, around 150 million years ago. Its most distinctive feature was the row of bony plates that ran along its back. These plates were actually extensions of the vertebrae and were covered in keratinous skin, similar to modern-day rhinoceros horns. The plates were used for display and also for defense against predators. The Stegosaurus also had spikes on the end of its tail, which it could use to deliver a powerful blow to any attacker. Apart from these unique traits, the Stegosaurus had other features that set it apart from other dinosaurs. For example, its brain was very small in relation to its body, leading many scientists to believe that it had limited cognitive abilities. It was also a quadruped, meaning that it walked on 4 legs rather than 2. Its head was small and narrow, with a beak-like mouth that it used to selectively eat plants like ferns and mosses. Despite its impressive size, the Stegosaurus only weighed around 5 to 7 tons, which is relatively light for a dinosaur of its type. Overall, the Stegosaurus was a unique dinosaur with some very interesting physical features that helped it survive in the wild. It is no wonder that it remains one of the most recognizable dinosaurs of all time. The Stegosaurus was a herbivore, which means that it survived on a diet of plants. Specifically, it liked to eat low-lying vegetation like ferns and mosses. Unlike some other herbivorous dinosaurs, the Stegosaurus did not have specialized grinding teeth or a multi-chambered stomach. Instead, it relied on its long, narrow beak to selectively feed on plants. The Stegosaurus was a social dinosaur that lived in herds of up to a dozen individuals. These herds were made up of both adults and juveniles, suggesting that the Stegosaurus took care of its young. The herds were probably led by a dominant male or female, who would have been tasked with keeping the group safe from predators. Despite its impressive appearance, the Stegosaurus was not a particularly speedy dinosaur. Scientists estimate that it could probably only run at a top speed of about 5 miles per hour. This meant that it was not well suited to outrunning predators like the Allosaurus, which was one of the Stegosaurus's main predators. Instead, the Stegosaurus relied on its bony plates and spiked tail for defense. By flashing its plates and swinging its tail, it could make itself look much larger and more dangerous than it actually was, which was often enough to deter predators. The Stegosaurus had a number of interesting features that make it stand out from other dinosaurs. For example, its bony plates were not just for show, they were actually used to help regulate the Stegosaurus's body temperature. By standing in the sun with its plates facing up, the Stegosaurus could warm up its body. Conversely, by standing in the shade with its plates facing down, it could cool down. Another interesting fact about the Stegosaurus is that it is one of the only dinosaurs for which we have a complete spinal column. This has allowed scientists to learn a lot about the dinosaur's anatomy and how it moved. For example, it was once thought that the Stegosaurus had a second brain in its tail, but this theory has since been debunked thanks to the complete spine. Finally, the Stegosaurus lived at a time when the Earth's climate was much warmer and wetter than it is today. It shared its environment with a wide variety of other dinosaurs, including the Allosaurus, Camarasaurus, and Diplodocus. Despite the many challenges it faced, the Stegosaurus was able to thrive for millions of years, leaving behind a rich fossil record that continues to fascinate scientists and dinosaur enthusiasts alike. And there you have it, some of the coolest and most fascinating dinosaurs that ever walked the Earth. From the heavily armored Ankylosaurus to the speedy Velociraptor, these ancient creatures continue to capture our imaginations and inspire awe. While many of them may have gone extinct more than 65 million years ago, their legacy lives on through our ongoing study of the natural world. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the past with us. Thanks for watching Brainwaves, and be sure to join us again soon for more amazing adventures in science and history.